Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. This is episode number 454. Let's see here. I don't have any birthdays to go over today, and I want to take a minute to go over a few things. First of all, a very big thank you to Chris and Jody over at the Digression Podcast for having me on their show recently to discuss the goings-on of Afghanistan, and it was a great chat that I had with Jody, and I look forward to the continued support from them and hopefully the many more chats we will get to have in the future. Please go check out the Digression Podcast whenever you get a chance to. It's a great podcast. It's not your typical bro vet podcast, just two Air Force vets that have their heads screwed on straight. I know they may not admit to that, but it is true. They're always a good either a good story, a good digression, or some helpful stories that you'll learn along the way. It's lots of cool stuff they got going on over there, so thank you to them once again, and please go check them out. I'll have a link in the show notes to their website. Speaking of websites, I just want to give you a quick reminder. Head on over to talesofhonorpodcast.com. Over there are so many fun activities for you to do. You can read all of these same episodes, but they're in a text format. You can look at all the living recipients. You can also see all the stories broke down by conflict if you want to, and you can also check out the sponsor page for all the people that keep this podcast going. So that's all I got for now. Let's move right on into today's Tale of Honor. Raymond was born on the 15th of May, 1918, in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and unfortunately, I could not find any information about his early life. It is known that he joined the U.S. Army in 1941, and his actions in Europe later earned him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "He was leading the 2nd Platoon of Company F over flat, open terrain to Hamelin, Germany, when the enemy went into action with machine guns and automatic weapons, laying down a devastating curtain of fire which pinned his unit to the ground. By rotating men in firing positions, he made it possible for his entire platoon to dig in, defying all the while the murderous enemy fire to encourage his men and to distribute ammunition. He then dug in himself at the most advanced position, where he kept up a steady fire, killing 6 hostile soldiers and directing his men in inflicting heavy casualties on the numerically superior opposing force. Despite these defensive measures, however, the position of the platoon became more precarious, for the enemy had brought up strong reinforcements and was preparing a counterattack. 3 men, sent back at intervals to obtain ammunition and reinforcements, were killed by sniper fire. To relieve his command from the desperate situation, First Lieutenant Beaudoin decided to make a one-man attack on the most damaging enemy sniper nest 90 yards to the right flank and thereby divert attention from the runner, who would attempt to pierce the enemy's barrier of bullets and secure help. Crawling over completely exposed ground, he relentlessly advanced, undeterred by 8 rounds of bazooka fire which threw mud and stones over him, or by rifle fire which ripped his uniform. 10 yards from the enemy position, he stood up and charged. At point-blank range, he shot and killed 2 occupants of the nest. A third, who tried to bayonet him, he overpowered and killed with the butt of his carbine. And the 4th adversary was cut down by the platoon's rifle fire as he attempted to flee. He continued his attack by running toward a dugout, but there he was struck and killed by a burst from a machine gun. By his intrepidity, great fighting skill, and supreme devotion to his responsibility for the well-being of his platoon, First Lieutenant Beaudoin single-handedly accomplished a mission that enabled a messenger to secure help which saved the stricken unit and made possible the decisive defeat of the German forces. Raymond O Beaudoin was 26 years old when he died, and he is buried in the Notre Dame Cemetery in South Hadley, Massachusetts, Section C, Lot 307. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrosch, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, And please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.